Hey, I'm Weston.
I'm Brian.
And we're gonna go to the local thrift store where we have early access, and we're gonna go find some cool stuff to burn. There's certain woods you want to look out for when you're doing burnt wood projects. The first one that you don't want to use is MDF or particle board. If you burn this, it'll just burn. You won't get any cool texture out of it.
The same goes for plywood. It's like your stuff like this, it'll just like delaminate. It won't get any of the grooves. It will also like melt. So watch out for plywood.
And another type that you don't want to use is something with a veneer on top, like, see, like on this one. So this has got a wood grain pattern on top, but on the inside it's all just particle board or plywood. Okay, I found this really big mirror that has some really nice details on it. It was $15, and I'm gonna do a really heavy burnt finish on it where it looks like that really charcoaly finish, and I'm not gonna wire brush it.
And I found a duck. And in case that doesn't work, we have other things like this little wooden planter, maybe a nice picture, and this hefty chair.
One thing to watch out for when you're burning things with really high detailed pieces like this one, where it's got this piece that's probably glued on or nailed on, is to not heat it too high, because that heat can cause the wood to expand and it'll crack the wood and it'll ruin your piece.
You don't know, like, if it has a finish on it, you're gonna want to wear something to protect your lungs, wear a mask, or have a lot of ventilation, because you don't know what they put on top. So safety.
Pro tip.
So to prep this for burning, what I'm gonna do is remove like all the wire, the cardboard backing, the glass, and the little embroidered thing.
And for mine, I'm just gonna take out the mirror itself, because if this gets too much heat on it, it's going to crack the mirror, and then our project would be useless.
So let's get to it.
Just like with any project where you're using an open flame, make sure you have a fire extinguisher handy, and that you don't leave your project alone after you burnt it, because you might have one little teeny flame that turns into a big flame, and next thing you know, your house is burned down. The bigger the project, the longer it's going to take to burn, so make sure you plan for that. And then also, the more sharp corners that your project has, the harder it's going to be to get your flame in there and burn it. So with mine, I had tons of these little teeny corners, and I had to burn it 3 or 4 different times before I finally got that dark color all the way into the creases. There are a few things you need to keep in mind when you're burning your project. The more times you burn it and brush it, the more deep those grooves you're gonna get, but also the more detail you're gonna lose in those really detailed areas. Eventually you're gonna get to a point where the wood's not gonna burn anymore, and so at that point you need to take your wire brush and brush all that burnt stuff off and keep burning. And if you're going for that really charcoaly look, the more times you burn it and brush it, the more severe that burning and crackling look's gonna get.
So I started on the chair, but like the backrest was laminate, so just falling apart, so we're not gonna do that one.
To apply the polyurethane, I'm gonna go over the whole thing really lightly with a brush, just to knock off any of the really loose pieces that wouldn't stick anyway. And then once you've got it brushed over once, you're gonna use that same brush and dip it in the polyurethane, and then just lightly hit it with the polyurethane. And it's probably gonna take 2 or 3 coats before you get it fully soaked in, because the charcoal just absorbs it like crazy.
idea. Do the same thing Weston did with this guy. Then with the beeswax, I'm gonna both heat up this and apply the beeswax at the same time. With the linseed oil, I'm just gonna coat the duck with it.
What do you think?
My hands are real black.
Boogers are black?
My boogers are black.
I think they turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how my mirror turned out. I did a couple different finishes. This is the one I ended up on. I did a linseed oil finish and then brushed it, and that's what brought out the really bright highlights. How did yours turn out?
No, so mine turned out fine. The one I like best was actually the planter. I kind of like that you can see like the color of the wood underneath. So I used beeswax, and then I scraped it with the wire brush a couple times, and then kept on applying the beeswax. Then I basically just left this one charcoal. I think, like I said, I think it's my favorite. And then the duck, I don't know. What do you think, Weston?
I'm surprised at how much I like it. When you were doing it, I hated it. I was like, this is a waste of money. But when it was done, you kind of shined it with the linseed oil. And I think if it was on a really simple contemporary desk, it would look really good. Like I said, I tried a couple different finishes on mine. One, I just did all charcoal, kind of like Brian's frame. And then this one was the brush finish with the linseed oil. I can't decide which finish I like better, like this one that's brushed or the really charcoal one. So leave a comment which one you like better, and I'll pick a random comment to give a $20 gift card to Amazon. Head over to Shmoxd's channel. He does a lot of planters and stuff like this too. He's one of my best friends.
This guy.
Best friends.
Best friend.
You look real short.
If you want to see some more content like this, hit that subscribe button, drop us a like, and it'll allow us to keep putting out more content, keep it fresh, and keep things in the new.
Keep things rolling. We'll have more.
Keep things in the new.
Keep things in the new, bro.
It's a new phrase.
Dude, just keep things in the new.
Hit that subscribe button.
Click. I'm just kidding. It's just a joke. I'm not taking all this.
Hey, Rose Apple TV, we're stealing stuff at the DI.